I know a lot of people click off the videos in the first 8 seconds. So know this. Go watch Midnight Mass. There, I said it. So even if you click that real quick, you heard the gist of the video. For the last 2 weeks, I have to confess, I've been completely obsessed with this TV show. It is something feeling-wise that doesn't come up that often, and usually it's when it's an established property or a filmmaker that I had been really invested in for a long time. But this show really kind of hit me in a way that a show hasn't maybe ever. But I absolutely loved Midnight Mass, and I need to thank my buddy Cedar for telling me that I needed to watch it. I watched it, and I'm looking forward to talking about it with you. But this video today is solely existing to try to convince other people to watch this show. If my recommendation itself is enough to persuade you to go watch it, you should just stop the video right now. If I'm just saying this is a good show, you should go watch it, just stop the video now, because I think it's really important with this show to try to know the least that you can, to go in as blind as possible, because there are a lot of things that I think will hit a lot better if you don't know about them. And they're things that it's kind of hard to talk in depth about the show without spoiling. I'm not planning on spoiling any of those things here in the show, but even like character stuff, I think it's good to go in and just kind of figure it out as the show would have you do it. So this show is created by Mike Flanagan, and when I say created by, I mean written, directed, edited, like everything by Mike Flanagan. And Mike Flanagan has been doing some horror stuff in the last, some popular horror stuff over the last like 5 years or so, starting with the Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, which was a really popular show, which I need to go back and watch now because I'm totally in on whatever it is he makes. But for me, the first thing that I really watched that he had made was Doctor Sleep, which was a sequel to The Shining, based on the book by Stephen King. And I love that movie. I thought it was really good. He does, like, something you need to know about this. Like, so if you're still here trying to hear, you need to know this show is dark, but not as dark as I would think this poster like leads you to believe. The characters in this show are, I feel, realistic in that they feel like people, like not maybe in like how they talk, because the show is dialogue heavy, but all of the dialogue is used to really build these characters up, and I think that it's something that we don't really get a lot of in movies or in TV. In movies, usually because there's just not enough time to let characters talk as much as they do here, but you really feel all of the relationships and understand who they are and why they are the way they are. And I think that is something that the show benefits from. And I think it really makes things that happen in the show hit a lot harder. So the show is, I think that they describe it as like it's a horror drama, and it's rated TV MA. Like, that's what I would want to let people know. But of course, being rated TV MA can mean a lot of things. You can go into this knowing that like there's no gratuitous sex scenes. There's like no sex scenes at all. So if that's something, I know there's a lot of people who that can be a turn off for, when it's just kind of like out of nowhere for no reason, this stuff's happening. None of that. You don't have to worry about that. The language is, there is this R-rated language in the show, but unlike some shows, it doesn't feel like it's just in there to be there. The people who you think would swear, and the people who you don't think would swear, don't swear, and it feels realistic, right? And so, like, that never bothers me when it comes to something like that. There is some violence in the show, but again, it's not like over the top crazy, at least in my opinion. It fits to what is happening. But I do think it's important to emphasize that the show is horror, and but not in the ways that I think that you might expect going into it. The show really hits on a lot of like religious stuff. Mike Flanagan used to be a Catholic. I did not grow up Catholic. I am a practicing Christian, and so I always am a little, it can always kind of rub me the wrong way if people treat, people that just like go to church as like caricatures in bad ways. But this show does not do that at all. Everybody is a real person, and there are good people who are in the church, and there are good people who are not in the church. And I really appreciated that. Like, it's something that I don't think a lot of people on both sides ever take the time to do. And so that's something that I really did appreciate, and appreciate the fact that people who are believers and non-believers can just talk to each other and be friendly with each other and friends with each other is also something that is refreshing to see. So yeah, that's something that I really, really liked about the show. I do think you should know, going to the show, that it does deal with a lot of heavy topics as well. But it does all those things in really responsible ways, right? It's ways that feel earned, not like it's just like, I'm going to bring up this subject because it is, a way to get a shock or something out of people. I don't, it's hard to really say all of the good things about the show without spoiling. And I do not want to spoil this show for people. I will say that the performances, I mentioned that they're well written, but the performances themselves are also very, very good. I think that the characters Riley and Miss Green's, what's her first name, Erin, are very, very good. I think that Father Paul is also good. I mean, that guy's just got like a cadence that is unusual and fun to listen to, just to hear him talk. And that's good, because you're going to hear him and everybody else talk a whole lot. I really do like Riley's parents as well. Ed especially. They grow on you. Everybody grows on you. And it's not too big of a commitment. It's only 7 episodes, which I think is great. I love these little shows that just are as long as they need to be. And then it's not like they're going to make sequels to this kind of stuff, but they're just going to let this creator do the next thing that they want to do. And I think that that's really just a good way for TV to be. I mean, TV has been so good lately, and I think good in so many different ways. And I've really, like, for all kinds of audiences, like, no matter what you're looking for, like, if you want Star Wars, there's Star Wars. You want Marvel stuff, there's Marvel stuff. If you want horror stuff, there's that. If you want adult comic book stuff, Peacemaker was really good. And then, like, it's just a bunch of different options that have all been good, and I just am excited by that. Do I think that this show is for everybody? No, I do not. Do I think that a lot of people would enjoy it and that maybe it slipped through the cracks for them because it came out like last September? Sure. And I would just love to hear, if people have seen this, what they thought of it. Big shout out to Joe, which the Red Letter Media guys on YouTube have pointed out is also in Halloween Kills, which is just crazy that he's in both of those movies, and that movie is not very good, and then this is great, and he does great in it. I just have to make sure and point out, just say that Bev is in, I mean, you haven't watched the show, you don't know, but if you have watched the show, Bev is a character who hits exactly like she's supposed to, and the actress is phenomenal. And seeing her in interviews afterwards, it's just great to see, like, how nice of a person she is compared to what she is in the show. I don't know what else to say besides, if you are into any kind of horror, you should check this out. If you are into character dramas, I highly recommend this. It's got lots of that in it, and it's all done really well. There's no need to keep going on about it. I would love to talk to people about this once they have watched it and just hear what they think about some of the big things that happen. And maybe someday we can talk about that on the channel too, but not today. Today is just me saying, go watch Midnight Mass. Hey, it's Easter too, and that's perfect timing. Easter's coming up, and The show deals with that specifically. So, all right. You take care and let me know what you think in the comments below. See you next time.